Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm Lauren Conlin. Let me get a banner up right now. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm still not sleeping. I am not doing any better here. I am kind of brain dead, so I'm going to be trying extra hard. Although last night it was kind of my own fault. I stayed up way too late, and there's a new show on Netflix. I honestly had heard nothing about it. I think it's called Hunting Wives. Have you guys seen this? So I just clicked on it. It's Brittany Snow, Malin Ackerman, and I binged like 3 episodes. And it's not like the show is so amazing and just like I couldn't stop watching. It was just one of those shows that was very watchable. It was very easy to follow. And I'm like, well, I'm here. So yeah. I did see Afton that there was a book. That's so funny. And I don't know. It's one of those shows also that you get these feelings about people and you're like, "Oh, I wonder if I'm the weird one thinking that this is going on." And then like the next scene I'm like, "Oh, I guess I wasn't weird because this is actually happening." And I know I'm being super vague right now, but there's just some plot lines in this that that toe the line a little bit. So yeah. But anyway, hello to everyone in the chat. Hey, Dizzy. Dizzy and I were texting about that quadruple murder in Tennessee yesterday. Oh my gosh. DR and the fam. Hi. Afton. Hi. Sam. Hermit Sal. David. Alvaro. Yeah. April Sky. Yay. Vermont's in the house. Awesome. So yeah. So there seems to be a lot going on in the news. I would say, in our world here, what we talk about on this channel, pop culture, criminal cases. So I do have somebody coming on in about an hour, Terri Austin. She's amazing. She used to host Law and Crime, or she used to anchor Law and Crime, I guess, but you've seen her on every single channel. And Terri and I, we covered the Diddy trial together, and she is so kind. She's obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, because you guys might not know her, but she's also an attorney. So she's going to join us in a bit to go over the new motion, the new Diddy motion. So first, a couple days ago, I think it was the Tuesday show, like fresh off the docket, he's requesting bail again ahead of sentencing. And this morning, I wake up and I'm actually, Terri can tell you this as well, but we're part of this Diddy trial chat on WhatsApp, and everybody was going crazy. I woke up and like the whole chat was going crazy, and they're like, there's now a memo for one, an acquittal on the Mann Act charges, or convictions, I should say, not charges, and then 2, for a new trial just on those those charges alone, the Mann Act. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say crazy. They are trying every possible avenue here. So yeah, we'll be going over that. And then, I mean, I woke up, I take this as a grain of salt. So as you can see, I have a picture of Trump and Diddy here because a month ago during a press conference, Trump was asked, sorry, you know what? My glasses are kind of blurry. Trump was asked if he would consider pardoning Diddy. And I think a lot of people thought maybe his answer would be like, oh, what? No. But he was kind of just like, I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. And I'm paraphrasing. Morning, Brent. Yes, nothing bigger than the chat. And Samantha, my email is lauren@popcrime.tv. You can email me anything. So yeah, so that started circulating. Everybody's like, oh, he might pardon him. And I didn't take it from that. I took it from, I took it as Trump was he was caught off guard, whatever. So then yesterday, an article comes out. I don't know who actually broke this story. I'm not certain, but they're saying Trump is highly considering a Diddy pardon. And I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Diddy is anti-Trump. That's number one. Number two, I mean, what would Trump have to gain from pardoning Diddy except for getting more haters? Honestly, like people would be so upset. Like people would be so upset. Why would he do that? Like what? Oh, hey, MJ. Like, yeah, like what is, I guess I'm just thinking like, what is in it for Trump? Truly, what is in it for Trump? If anybody in the chat has any thoughts or ideas here, let me know, because I've been racking my brain, and I've even been trying to go that conspiratorial route, racking my brain like, what would Trump get out of this? Money? Trump doesn't need money, though. I mean, I don't, and thank you, Connie. Thanks for being here. So I just don't understand this. And again, if you guys, so Comey's daughter was okay. Afton, all right. I see what you're getting at. You mean like this would be like a stick it to Comey type of thing? Wow. All right. So I go back to, and some of you, if you don't, if you're not a fan of Rudy Giuliani, his politics, fine. I had him on maybe a week and a half ago, and right when Comey was canned, and he said, I don't know necessarily if he would make her pay the sins of the father, so to speak, and I thought that was a good point. He knows Trump, he's, and he knows how Trump is, and how, he knows when he can be petty. He knows all of that stuff. And he was like, well, yeah, I don't know if she'd be needing to pay for the sins of the father. But, I guess we never truly know anything. But that's a really good point. That's probably the best point that I've heard about this, because I can't think of anything else. I really can't. I don't know. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me so crazy. The other reason, Athen, that's a good point, because he was grossly charged in the first place. And yes, and guys, this is funny because I know Afton, and she's not a Diddy fan, but I love when people can recognize this, that it was just a crazy trial, because in my opinion, obviously Afton's, many other opinions, he was overcharged. And I think Terri will tell you that too, because we did have some secret conversations, and I'm excited for Terri to come on, because she was definitely a safe space for me during the Diddy trial, where, it was a lot of press, a lot of high-powered press people, TMZ, ABC, and then there were some independent people like Terri and I. And I just, I didn't want to make a scene ever. I just didn't want to draw any attention to myself and and just be gossiping about the trial. But she was just, again, a safe space where we could like kind of talk and be like, yeah, this was weird, right? Did you believe what so-and-so said, without feeling judged by anybody, or that we weren't, supporting females or males, whatever. So anyway, morning, Les. How's it going over there? I think you said you're in London, right? Yeah. So, okay. So we'll get back to the Diddy stuff, and I'm going to post the memo as well, or I can put up a link to that also. But since we're in this world right now, hey Harlem, what's up? Since we're in this world right now, let's talk about the Fat Joe hearing tomorrow, which actually I'm excited about this. Hey Robin, or I shouldn't say, I guess I'm kind of excited, but so there is a dial-in number, and I think at that point I'll be traveling on a road trip with my fam and my kids. But I will tell them to be quiet. I will give them snacks and whatever, but we can dial in to hear this hearing. And if you guys are with me, the other, I think it was, God, it's all running together with my brain damage right now from not sleeping. But Joe Tacopina had mentioned August 1st, there was going to be a hearing, and there was a motion submitted on July 22nd. And basically that motion is to get rid of, number one, Rock Nation from Terrence Dixon's civil suit against Fat Joe. And Rock Nation is represented by Alex Spiro. We talked about this. He's an amazing lawyer, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alec Baldwin's lawyer. So they're arguing that. And then Joe Tacopina, they have submitted a defamation, like a countersuit, a defamation suit against Dixon and Tyrone Blackburn. So they are having a hearing for that tomorrow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen in. I'm going to take all the notes, and then I'm going to do a video and give an update, and I'll post that. Morning, Brooklyn. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Maytal. Hey, Teresa. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. So I'll be giving updates on that. But really quick, let me actually, you know what I can do? I can share this tab. This is the motion, the Fat Joe motion. Let me make a banner. Fat Joe motion. You know, I'm really fascinated by this whole civil suit and the clapback that happened so quickly, or I felt like happened so quickly with Fat Joe and his team. You know, I think academics really he phrased this in a really smart way, in terms of like what we're seeing now is people making demands of other people that are in the spotlight, and this is not a blanket statement. This is just certain things. So we're seeing them make these type of demands. You owe me money for this. You owe me money from like 20 years ago. Remember? And then let's say Fat Joe, whoever else is like, no, sorry, I'm not going to pay you millions of dollars just out of the blue. And then that person turns around and is like, oh yeah, by the way, I saw you have relations with minors. I saw you do XYZ. And you're like, what? Okay. And then that person's reputation is now either on its way to be very, very damaged or already damaged. So that's why I think I'm so fascinated with the whole Fat Joe thing. And I don't know Fat Joe, never met him, don't know anything about him. You know, so that's why I just think it's interesting. So I'm not going to say one thing or another. However, based on other circumstances, the way that lawsuit was drafted, Tyrone Blackburn's history with other civil suits, I think, you know, you can safely make some speculations there. So yeah. But this motion, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Let's see. Yes. So, yes, this is RE Cartagena versus Dixon, and then Dixon versus Cartagena. So, right, two different lawsuits. And I guess the gist of this here, let me scroll up. I made like a little blurb to go over sort of in lay terms, like what is probably going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's oral arguments, which if you guys have ever listened to Joe Tacopina, like ASAP Rocky trial, I mean, he is a very compelling guy to listen to. So I always love hearing him, you know, in court. So that's another reason why I'm excited for this. All right. So yes, this is a joint letter and proposed civil case management plan and a scheduling order. So they're also, you know, proposing different dates, you know, where they can kind of outline what's going on, procedural matters, jurisdiction, venue, deadlines, motions, discovery, and then alternative dispute resolutions. So, and it's kind of long. So obviously I'm not going to go over it like word by word. But let's see, like the biggest things here is just, you know, they're just basically saying that the suits have no merit at all. And they also said that the deadline to serve the complaint on Fat Joe is September 17th, 2025, and most defendants have not been served or appeared. And again, Roc Nation's motion to dismiss is still pending. So Fat Joe and Roc Nation are requesting that no scheduling order be imposed for the second filed lawsuit until all the other motions are resolved. So Roc Nation, again, requests exclusion from any scheduling order until they get a final answer. So I get that. And let me see. The first filed action on June 23rd, Fat Joe filed a motion requesting to dismiss everything without prejudice, and which would allow Dixon to refile claims or counterclaims as like a third party. So then Dixon and Blackburn, they opposed that motion, and then Dixon and Blackburn filed another motion to dismiss the defamation suit. So it's just been like a total back and forth of just clusters here. So they're just putting it all together in one motion. And there hasn't been a response to this, by the way. So I think we're going to go through it tomorrow during the hearing. And the judge is Jennifer Rashawn. I don't know anything about her. I should probably look into that. But if this is definitely something that you're interested in, make sure to look out for my video tomorrow or my updates tomorrow on this case. And I'll give you all the details. I'll give you all the fun Tacopina details, because again, he's just not one of those. He's not one of those lawyers that are just very dry. He's always saying something so snarky, and it just makes me laugh. Yeah. So yes, let's. Hey Six, what's going on? Let's talk about this, guys. Hold on, I'm gonna pull this up. So Dizzy turned me on to this. I did not know about Melly and this whole, I mean, there seems to be some drama going on with his retrial. I'm trying to find like a good picture of him to put up. I mean, there's not really good pictures here. All right, here he is. I mean, he looks so young. So young. And yes, he does not play around. He so does not play around. Okay. Melly Retrial. Okay, so I know that I'm old. Totally understand that. I didn't know who Melly was. Am I alone in this? Oh no, you said he looks like a demon? Okay. Well, listen. This case, his double murder case, I don't think it's as open and shut as clearly as everybody thinks. I mean, obviously, this is a retrial because wait, Dizzy, seriously? Sorry, I'm done. Yes, I'm alone in not knowing. Okay, awesome. So let's pretend that I didn't say that. Let's pretend I did not say that. Okay, so Derek, you say free Melly. I honestly, I have not dug into the paperwork about this case, but if you're interested, you guys, I will get all the paperwork and I will dig in. I was more interested. Wait, really? You think Melly's trapped? I mean, look, this, I don't know. Again, I don't know what to believe because I haven't looked too much into everything paperwork wise. I've only read, I guess, surface level claims and obviously what happened in the first trial. Wait, and yes, this was clearly part of the evidence, the murder on my mind, along with an Instagram. Oh, you Dizzy, you have it? Oh, shoot. Okay. Samantha. Okay, good. You haven't heard of it, him either. Okay. Right. So his song, Murder on My Mind, does not help the case totally. But also, when I was going through everything, there was apparently an Instagram comment that he made where he said, "Shh, I did that," based on these double murders of his two friends. So, yay, Detroit, love it. Thank you. So he and another man have been charged with the double murder of their friends. They say it was a drive-by shooting, but prosecutors say otherwise. Prosecutors say that was just a setup. They were at a recording studio and that they killed these guys. So, hey, Ori, good to see you. So, yeah, this is, and again, like, I don't know the motive exactly. I couldn't quite figure that out, but I mean, I didn't pay attention to the first trial. Dizzy, was the first trial televised? Do you know? Because I am interested. I would go back and kind of check all of this out because it's so interesting. So the jury was hung in this case because I don't think they had just tangible evidence to show that these guys plotted you know, and killed their friends. I think that it was based on, again, the song and the Instagram message. Oh, you did watch it? Okay. So what was your takeaway? Is the case weak in your opinion? I'm so curious. I have to see this. I also saw that there were some issues with jurors as well. I guess, where was it? One of the jurors, where did I see this? They said that jurors were manipulated, and they were shouting like homophobic slurs at each other. I mean, this is so weird. Okay. Yes. All right. This is what I did. I literally slept. I honestly did not know about this. Okay. Dizzy, you said it was shady. Okay, April, lots of hearsay. Yeah, all right. This is what I thought just from reading things about it, but I'm glad. Okay. This makes sense. Um, yeah, weird. I'm reading the chat. Okay. This was before YSL. All right, makes sense. Yeah. So now he's been sitting in jail for a very long time awaiting this retrial, and apparently his lawyers are now under investigation, and he has said, and he's filed some complaints saying that he's being very mistreated in jail and he's not allowed to talk to family or friends or whatever. And April just said, where is it? They basically tried to find him guilty off of his music lyrics, which sounds exactly like Young Thug. That's crazy. What is this? They have phone records and reconstruct. Oh, okay. So we have another opinion here. They have phone records. So what is on the phone records exactly? Okay, I think I really need to dig into this. Dizzy, can you send me these documents? Because I'm finding this super fascinating. Melly acts up in jail. That's why he can't. Yeah, see, this is not helping his case either. Like if he's not, yeah, he looks super young. How old is he? I mean, he looks really immature and young. How old is he? Let me just Google it. How old? I'm sure by the time I Google this, someone in the chat will have told me. Oh yeah, he's 26 years old. That's super young. Yeah, 26 years old. What they are doing is very unconstitutional, regardless if he's guilty. Yeah, okay. So, okay, you're right. This is horrible, but you guys, you got to see if you look up cases. And it's a little better now, but Rikers Island, this happens like in Rikers. And that's how I think a lot of defendants end up getting plea deals because they just want to get out of Rikers so badly. At least this was happening in the 90s and the early 2000s. I read this Rikers Island book and it was just so fascinating and eye-opening. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like I think that I don't know. I can't say for certain, but if I was sitting in the hellhole that's Rikers and I had an opportunity to go to another prison that was listen, besides like Sing Sing, I would say anything is better than Rikers. I think I would maybe take a plea deal too and be like, just get me out of here. Please get me out of here. Yeah. So okay, Dizzy, I'll check everything after. So this retrial, I think, let me see, when did they set a date for this? They did set a date, I believe. This is September 10th. Okay. So I would like to cover this. Again, if it's streaming, I would like to stream some of it. So maybe we can work on that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have it in me, like how other creators do that, where they stream the trial and they sit there. I don't know if I have that in me. And I also don't know if I have time, but I would really like to watch a lot of it with you guys. So I think definitely for opening statements, we should be watching it here. And I don't know, we could do some of jury selection, perhaps, maybe, but yeah, that I feel like this is going to be a tough one, a really, really tough one. And just keep in mind, guys, retrials usually, clearly we saw, thank you, Derek, you're the best. Usually, this did not happen in the case of Karen Reed, but I would say retrials usually end in a conviction. And I think most attorneys will tell you that as well, because the prosecution has had time to really look at the case, really figure out, where they went wrong, what they did wrong, expert wise, this and that. And usually it ends up being a conviction. Usually, not always. So yeah. Let me see. Maytal, no, I love this. Not defending him in his current situation, just saying he's confined and isolated. So so we totally understand that too. Exactly. Yes. I definitely will hit up academics about Melly. How can they use drive-by as a defense when the gunshots clearly came from the back seat, according to, yeah, no, that's a good point. And that's why I think that that's why I think I need to watch this trial and see what they have to say. But yeah, that is the defense. So lemon pepper wings and watch the trial. I don't get, are lemon pepper wings a thing? That doesn't sound that good to me. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, deal. I have a ton of Melly homework to do, and I'm going to cover Melly. Okay. Done, 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 done. Gonna cover. Yes, Dirk. Okay, you've said Dirk. I don't know why, Derek, the Dirk trial, I think LA just feels so far away to me. And I don't know why. I just feel so disconnected with anything in Los Angeles sometimes, except for the Menendez brothers. So forgive me that I haven't done any research on that. But okay, so down south, it's lemon. Oh, it's hot. Okay, all right. Lemon pepper's hot. All right. All right. So we will get back to Melly then. I mean, this is really interesting. I'm ready for this to happen. Jeez. Oh, and also he faces death. And in Ron DeSantis's Florida, the jury now does not have to be unanimous on the death penalty. It's a majority. It can just be 8 out of 12 people that recommend it. I mean, dude, Florida, it's just so on point for Florida. I'll leave it at that. No, I didn't hear about the Gilbert Arenas indictment. I did not hear about that. What is that? Hold on, let me see. Jeez, there's so much going on. Ooh, this is okay. Oh my gosh, let's look at this. Whoa. Oh boy, thanks for letting me know about this. Hold on, let me switch. You guys, share. So hopefully nobody takes what I write in the description. This is why I don't write descriptions for these live streams, because we get all over the place, because this is crazy. Oh my gosh, let me change my banner here. Wow. Former NBA star, suspected Israeli crime figure arrested on federal indictment alleging high stakes illegal poker games at Encino Mansion. Former NBA star Gilbert, am I saying that right? Arenas and 5 other defendants, including a suspected high-level member of an Israeli transnational organized crime group, were arrested today on a federal indictment alleging they operated an illegal gambling business in which high-stakes poker games were played at an Encino Mansion that Arenas owned. He's 43, aka Agent Zero. Was that like his NBA name? I'm an idiot when it comes to sports, and I'm very sorry. Hold on. Let me write this. Okay. Let me go back. Sorry. And I'll make it bigger. Sorry. Okay. He's charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business, 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Did I not? Oh, okay. So it's 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of actually operating the illegal gambling business and 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. See, dang it. I wish this was New York. He's scheduled to make his initial appearance and be arraigned this afternoon in U.S. District Court in downtown LA. Oh my gosh. Also charged in the indictment and arrested today in connection with the illegal gambling businesses are, oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher these names, you guys. Yevgeny Gershman. He's the suspected organized crime figure from Israel. Evgeny Torevsky. I'm sorry, that was stupid. 48. Alan Austria of West Hills. Yaron Cohen, 27. And then Ivgen Krachin. Sorry, I can't do this. Each of these defendants charged with 1 conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Let me see what these sentences hold. Federal, and then I'll go back to the chat. Sorry. Sentencing for, and like, how much money are we talking about here? All right. So it says the statutory maximum sentence is 5 years for each count. So these guys are pretty much facing 10 years. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. So Nola 504, you are so sweet. Thank you. And thank you to whoever just told me about this. Jayers, that's like, this is crazy. This is interesting. I kind of like cases like this as well because there's no murder, there's no assault. You know what I mean? It's kind of easier to talk about. You don't feel so weird about kind of, I don't know, making light of certain things. I know I always try to make light of stuff at times just to lighten the mood when things get so heavy. But then after I think about it and I'm like, was I being insensitive? I don't know. But this is really, really interesting. I want to know the money here. So it says, according to the indictment returned on July 15th and unsealed today, from September of 2021 to July of 2022, these guys were operating an illegal gambling business. He rented out a mansion that he owned for the purpose of hosting high stakes illegal poker games. Am I horrible? I don't see why this is so bad. I like, and this could be really, this could be just bad of me to say. This could be just ignorant of me to say, not knowing enough about this subject or this topic. But it's like, I guess maybe if you owe money to somebody and someone comes and breaks your legs and kills you because, right, because of what you're doing with this high stakes illegal poker game, yeah, that's bad. But like, this just seems like, I mean, what do you do? There's kids being trafficked and like really, you're really upset about. So again, please forgive me if I'm speaking out of, both sides of my mouth and I don't know enough about this, but I just don't see why this is like, I don't know. If it seems like nobody forces somebody to go to a poker game and gamble all their money away and, give up their house, ruin their lives with their children and their wives, whatever. Nobody forces them. People are addicted to gambling and this happens. And a lot of people are making money. This just seems, I don't know. Please, you guys know I love discussions, nuanced discussions. Please tell me if I am completely out of line here, please. No, Melly didn't get bail. The feds learned a lesson about overcharging, tax evasion. Okay. They were operating the poker games, like a mob. All right. Interesting. Let me go on. This is, because you're right. I did not finish this yet. And this is why sometimes I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. So, okay. He rented out this mansion for the purpose of hosting these high stakes illegal poker games. At Arenas' direction, Arthur Katz, 51 of West Hollywood, staged the mansion to host the games, found co-conspirators, I hate that term now, to host the games, and collected rent from co-conspirators on Arenas' behalf. They managed illegal pot limit Omaha poker games, collected a rake fee at the house charged from each pot as a percentage or a fixed amount per hand. Ori, are you still in the chat? Ori knows all the mob stuff. I feel like Ori could talk about the rakes and stuff and sort of what he experienced. Ori, if you're still there, I should just send you a quick link to come on really quick before Terri comes on. Yeah, because I'm still like, okay. He hired young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massage. Okay, this is not, and I have to tell you guys, this is going to sound sketchy, but when I was like, I don't know, I was probably 22. I dated this guy, or it was basically our second date. And he took me to one of these things. It was on Bleecker Street. We like grabbed a slice at John's of Bleecker, and I was working. I had my first, job out of college. I was working in marketing at the time, and so I was in like my work clothes, my like stupid Tory Burch flats. Like I looked like such a yuppie, like just whatever. So I don't know. It wasn't I didn't know we were doing this date. So anyway, so he's like, let's meet, at John's of Bleecker. And I was like, okay, cool. Pizza. I didn't really want that. And then when we start walking with the pizza slice, I was like, okay, I'm so not into this. And sorry if I sound like uptight, I don't care. Like I don't want to walk eating pizza on a date. So anyway, we walk and he's like, okay, we're gonna go to my friend's like event. I'm like, okay. And this event was an underground, it was blackjack, poker, and like one other card game. And he had exactly that. This one guy, he had waitresses. They were actually topless. They were topless waitresses that he paid to serve drinks, you know, do the whole massage thing. I mean, basically do whatever these guys wanted that were playing. So I was fascinated. I was like, wow. And I actually, you know, I thought it was kind of cool, I guess, at the time. I was young and nobody was hurt. Everyone seemed to be having fun. It wasn't, you know, but yeah, point is I've seen this. So hired the women. They were charged a tax percentage from their earnings from working the games. So they would tip out, which again, you do that as a bartender, you do that wherever. And then one of the guys worked as a chip runner where he tracked players' wins and losses. Okay, this all sounds. Gershman, an Israeli citizen, is charged with 3 additional counts to commit marriage fraud, and making a false statement on an immigrant document. So in early 2022, Gershman conspired with Kojakari to enter into a sham marriage for the purposes of obtaining, okay, how many people do that? Sorry, not saying it's right, but yeah, okay. Kojakari was also arrested today and scheduled to make her initial appearance in court and be arraigned this afternoon. Okay, so guys, I didn't miss anything. This is pretty much exactly what we thought it was. This is stupid. Sorry. Like, it's not even, I don't know. Am I wrong here? I don't know. Hey, Amor. Dizzy, am I crazy? Lauren, is this back of it? Yes. Wait, this is the same job where that boss would take us, worked in the Empire State Building, and across the street from the Empire State Building, there was Rick's Cabaret, and they had those lunch specials that they were like $15 for like a burger, fries, whatever. And then the strippers would give you massages. I mean, imagine now, like the 20, I mean, because I was probably 22, 23. Imagine the 22-year-old people now doing that. That would not go over well. They would be suing. They would be on TikTok crying. Sorry. It's crazy. You know what we didn't really talk about on this channel, and I feel like maybe we should, is the Sydney Sweeney thing. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't really want to get political. You guys know that, like, but sometimes I can't help it because somehow the Sydney Sweeney thing turned political. And I was just like, wait, really? This is, because I didn't see any of the headlines. So I just watched the commercial and I was like, she's trying to be like sexy, saying, you know, jeans and jeans. I get that whole thing. I mean, we can watch it really quickly, but then people on TikTok are basically saying that like it's super racist and they're trying to wipe out. I don't know. It was crazy. I'm like, she's just a pretty girl. I mean, if somebody, I just don't think that was the intent here. Yeah, I don't think that was the intent, that American Eagle was trying to be racist in any way. Why would American Eagle of all companies want to alienate any of their consumers? Again, let's look at this from that perspective here. It does not make sense. This company has no reason to do that whatsoever. You can look at all of their ads, all of their print ads. They're very diverse. It's like, guys, please stop showing your privilege. I feel like when people get on the internet and make videos like that, they have so much time, so much privilege. You're clearly, you know, well fed, well taken care of, that you can hop on TikTok and be like, I can't believe this. Wait, oh, you're so funny, sis. Nancy Botwin. Yes. I love weeds. It just took me a minute to realize who you were talking about. Nancy Botwin. Okay, I like this. They are trying to be controversial because they knew how much free press they'd get. I don't think they're going for racist though. Okay, that is an interesting take. Yeah, sometimes you know what triggers people, right? Like you know what triggers people. And I mean, a hot blonde girl talking about her mom giving her jeans, like blue eyes and blonde hair. I mean, yeah. Sydney Sweeney's a fun actress. I can't wait. I know, right? It's taken a while for Euphoria, but they had some drama. Well, who died? That was so awful. What was his name again? I'm forgetting, but yeah, I just like Sal. I just feel like sometimes when I'm seeing these things, I'm just like, you do have a lot of privilege that you have time to do this instead of, something else that somebody who's maybe not as privileged, is doing at that moment. Thank you, Agnes Cloud. Oh my gosh, so sad. So freaking sad. And really quick, just because I had sort of promised just different topics today. And again, not that it matters, because I don't think anyone really reads descriptions on Twitter or maybe you do. Maybe you're here because of my Twitter and you saw what I was going to discuss. But I also just wanted to point out that the couple that was killed in Arkansas about 5 days ago, they were hiking on this Devil's Den trail with their daughters, 7 and 9, and they were murdered, I believe, stabbed to death. There was a manhunt for the suspect, and they finally caught him, and he is a school teacher, apparently. So the daughters were unharmed, and they are trying to figure out a motive right now for this teacher. It's weird. If we all took the time to dig, I bet we could find the motive. So yeah. Oh, Dizzy's so smart. She's like, you can check your analytics to see how many people came from X. So I wanted to just put that out there. I'm really impressed they caught him within 5 days. I always continue to be impressed by law enforcement when they take such swift action on stuff like this. It's pretty amazing. So let me see what I just saw something. Oh, you said just back to Sydney Sweeney. There's a Parade article if you want okay, I do want to see this really quickly. Just really quickly. I might end up following this too. The Gilbert Arenas. Did you guys confirm that I'm saying that correctly, by the way? I think I'm going to follow this. This is stupid to me, but that's even more of a reason why I want to follow it, to see what goes on. Is this an overcharge? Could they have just charged them with conspiracy? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, oh my gosh, Samantha, I know I'm all over the place, but their daughters, that Arkansas couple, must be absolutely, I can't imagine what they saw, what they experienced, and now they're orphans. My heart. Oh my gosh, my heart. Jeez. Okay, let me see. Sydney Sweeney, American Eagle reaction. And just a reminder, we're going to be going over the Diddy motion in about 15 minutes with Terri Austin. You're going to love her, you guys. She's the sweetest. I said reaction. I kind of meant response. Okay. Why am I so bad with this? Okay, parade. Okay, here we go. Let me remove this banner. Sorry. Okay, here is Sydney. She is so cute. Oh my gosh. I started watching her, I think, on Handmaid's Tale. Okay. What does she say? The campaign, which plays a double meaning genetics and the brand's iconic denim, has dominated social feeds, with some saying the wording evokes racist and nationalist ideals. Oh my goodness. Now, Ashley Shapiro, an executive at the brand, is sharing the behind-the-scenes moment that set the provocative campaign in motion. In a now viral LinkedIn post, Shapiro revealed the pivotal question posed to the Anyone But You star. During a Zoom call with Sydney, we asked the question, how far do you want to push it? She wrote. Sydney's response was immediate and exactly what the brand was hoping for. Without hesitation, she smirked and said, let's push it. I'm game. The team's reaction was just as swift. Our response, challenge accepted. Ooh, wait. So this definitely means, yeah, they knew what they were doing. Right. Okay. And how do you spell Sweeney with an E? I mean, I'm going to butcher this spelling, but no, I didn't butcher the spelling. That's great. That's really interesting. All right. So they both agreed they were going to push it. From that moment, the executive explained, Sweeney's daring sentiment became the guiding principle for the entire massive rollout. Sid's sentiment guided every frame. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Cool. The goal was to go bigger than ever before. Wow, you guys achieved. Fueled by Sweeney's willingness to embrace the playful concept, a desire to stretch beyond anything we had done before. The ideas kept building. Okay. The More is More campaign includes a massive, multifaceted takeover of culture, including the playful stunt double to reveal the genius pun behind jeans, testing AI try-on technology, and okay, cool. Apologies to the NYPD in advance, because they have show-stopping interactive 3D billboards, so people are going to be stopping and looking, and yeah, whatever. Okay, but right now it's not really explaining what I want. All right. Sydney Sweeney has great genes, and so can you. That's what upset everybody the most, I think. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah, let me see. Can't really blame Sydney Sweeney, blame the writers, unless she's just ignorant and didn't understand the double entendres. And no, I think they're saying Sydney Sweeney was like, I mean, I don't think she knew exactly what they had in mind, but Sydney Sweeney was the one that was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's push the envelope. Yeah, that's, I did not expect this response. Afton, thank you or MJ, whoever told me about this, thank you for showing me this. That's interesting. Yeah. So we can watch it really quick, but it just sounds like they knew that this was going to spark outrage. And, oh, yeah, maybe I missed that. There was a part where the exec said no apology. And so that's the thing. I don't think that they had racism in mind, but they definitely knew that it would cause some people to be like, what the hell? And then in turn, it would blow up and be this whole, conflicting reactions on social media, people being very upset about it. Let me play this.
Hi, I'm Sydney Sweeney, and I'm from Spokane, Washington. I can work as a local hire as well, though, and I'm available for the American Eagle Jeans campaign shoot.
Profile and hands, please.
I don't like those jeans, by the way. Sorry.
Thanks.
I would never wear
We'll be in
them.
touch.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Next.
Oh, but that's not the one that people were like super upset about. Let me find the one. Well, I mean, yes, they're upset about that, but there was just another. You guys know what I'm talking about. The other one was. But like, are you guys gonna go buy these jeans? I mean, I don't wear jeans. Is that weird? I don't think I've worn jeans in so long. Yeah, hideous jeans, right? Literally hideous. No, yeah, that's not the one. Let me find it. Sorry. Sydney Sweeney has great. She's laying down. Is it this one? No. Let me see. Dizzy, do you have a good link to it? Because this is all like YouTuber. I mean, here we go.
American Eagle ad has triggered a massive cultural flashpoint and online firestorm. The issue? A new jeans ad.
Okay.
What initially seemed to be a bold punny campaign ended up getting slammed as tone-deaf and even racist.
We got it.
Let's break this down.
Show it to us.
The campaign features 27-year-old Sydney Sweeney. In the ad, she's seen wearing a denim jacket and jeans. Then she says this. Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
I don't like this one.
Then she adds,
here, I'll just show you guys as I'm Googling. Unless somebody found it for me. Yeah, I don't know if it's me, but I just have not worn jeans. I don't know. I wear a lot of dresses and skirts and then yoga pants, but I'm that person that dresses yoga pants up with like I would wear yoga pants with this and call it a day. I'm really bad about that stuff. I just like to make things look better than they really are. All right, well, let's see. Is it this?
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Got it.
Often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very jeans.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Right? Like that's it.
Often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
So that is it.
Jeans are pus.
Sorry, that's what's getting everybody all up in a tizzy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have time to think about that any more than I already have. So, yeah, that's that. I know. I mean, if somebody in the chat respectfully, and I respect your opinion, if this did upset you in some way, nobody attack this person if they do come into the chat and say that it upset them. But please, like feel free to say it. I'll pin the comment if you feel like it. And yeah, I don't personally, I don't know. I just don't really think twice about it. I also don't shop at American Eagle. I also don't, again, I just said I don't wear jeans. So, yeah, but I'm happy to hear your side. And again, nobody get upset. Yeah. So anyway, really quick before Terri hops on and we go over the Diddy motion, I did want to also point out, Shannon Sharpe was fired from ESPN after and we haven't really talked about this on the show, and I feel like maybe I should. I should get somebody in the sports world to weigh in on this really quick. Let me see. How do you get out of these stupid ads? But Shannon Sharpe, after he settled this lawsuit, he was fired by ESPN. And I think what's also interesting about this, I saw, this is such a bad, God, CNN, I can't do this with you anymore, CNN. Like, get your, dude, sorry, having a moment, get your ads off there. Okay. So he was dropped by ESPN after this settlement. And I think there was a lot of discourse online about this whole thing because the woman that had accused him, they were in a relationship. And then as soon as he offered this money, she was like, okay, great, no problem. This is not a criminal matter anymore. And she was very, very happy to take this money. And additionally, Bobby Burack from the Outkick, if anyone follows him in sports, he had tweeted something about there were rumors right before he was in a relationship with this woman that he was gay. So, and again, I don't know anything about Shannon Sharpe. I don't care about anybody's sexuality at all. You can do whatever you want. But I just thought that was interesting, the timing. So, the timing of that. So it was like rumors that he's gay, he's in this relationship, and then it comes out that he allegedly did XYZ through this lawsuit. He settles, and then now ESPN fires him. So he addressed his ESPN exit. And this was, today's Thursday, last night, Wednesday night, he, let me see. It said he apologized to his brother for the timing during his episode of Nightcap. And he said, and here's Nightcap. Well, you know what? Let me just play this really quick.
To get started, obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week. And really, the only thing that I really ask is like, guys, could we, wait until Monday. My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, bro, stop apologizing.
Aww.
You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless. We all make mistakes. And he says, bro, I love you. So I'm done with this. You're done with it too. Move on. And
interesting.
I really enjoyed my time at ESPN. It gave me an opportunity to bring my audience that saw me really just grow. They saw me, Lakers in 5, and they saw me say all these analogies that my grandparents gave me. And I was able to bring that to ESPN. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do. And I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I've overshadowed my brother. The first two brothers.
I mean, we can stop there. I didn't realize that. So his brother, is having this moment where what did he say? Sorry. See, this is also horrible for me, guys. my brain, when it comes to sports, it just turns off. So he said his brother was like getting drafted, or I don't even know. Sorry. I'm like, I'm the worst. My brain shut off. I knew I was following this at the beginning, but now that we played over a minute of somebody talking about sports Hall of Fame, thank you so much, you guys. Yes. So understood. He knew he was getting fired. He wanted ESPN to wait. They didn't. Cool. He apologized to his brother. I don't know enough about this guy to have this opinion. I do, or have this opinion on whether he's guilty of, what this woman said that he did. But I just know that if you settle, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're guilty. It doesn't at all. I mean, we hear about celebrities ending relationships and, offering, or if you're a celebrity and you're dating someone that's maybe not as famous, they'll offer NDAs just for you not to talk about it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you did anything wrong in the relationship. It just means that you don't want the added negative attention, or you don't want things to possibly get spun into a different narrative. And I think that anyone in PR, would agree. So that is, oh my goodness, that's wild. I'm just, like I said, I make myself laugh when it comes to sports. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get better. But then my brain just turns off. But you know what? While we're waiting on Terri, let's get the Diddy motion up. This is so interesting to me. Diddy new motion for acquittal / new trial. Oh God, imagine that. Nobody would ever grant a new trial for Mann Act charges. I mean, what? Okay. All right. Taking this down. Just give me 1 second to pull up. And I'll be back in New York next week. So I'll have like my regular background and not my old room. Sorry. And I always feel bad. I forgot to shut the bathroom door, so the light's on. It looks sloppy. Sorry, guys. All right. This is a long one, too. This will take probably a minute to load up, but all good. Okay. Oh, and somebody just asked me about Angie Solomon, or two people asked me. So I have updates on that. And thank you so much, Sal. Yes, hit the like button right now. Subscribe here. We do this Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so the Angie Solomon case, she was in court yesterday, and Tennessee is horrible, just FYI. So yeah, before we get to Diddy, let me just talk about Angie. I'll do another separate video on Angie, guys. I promise. If you're interested in that, I will do that probably maybe either today or tomorrow. So it's out tomorrow. But she was in court yesterday on the murder for hire charges, and she pled not guilty. And there is an indictment. So a grand jury was convened and agreed to charge her. And there are new charges. So the problem with Tennessee is that you need to be a Tennessee resident to get, Terry's here. So I will make a video on Angie. So again, you have to be a Tennessee resident to get things from the clerk's office. So I do have, I have photos of the indictment, and I'll be scanning those and going over it because the person that went to the courthouse for me, they literally... They live in Tennessee. I just know them just from the crime space. So they grabbed the indictment from the clerk and literally took iPhone pictures. So yes, I will go over those later. I'm going to scan them and make them look better. But let me get Terri up. We'll talk about that later. So Terri, how are you?
I'm great. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. We've been just raving over you earlier today in the chat, or I've been raving over you. I said that you were so wonderful. Obviously we loved you on Law and Crime as an anchor, but I loved being with you at the Diddy trial because number one, you're an attorney and your insights are so valuable. And number two, you were this safe space for me that I always felt like I could trust you. And yes, here's Terri's X account. Follow her there. We'll plug whatever else you want. But yeah, you were just a safe space. I knew that I could talk to you. We could sort of share quiet opinions without feeling like, we were gossiping or not respecting anybody on the stand. And so it was just loved being with you.
The feeling is so mutual. I can't even begin to tell you. Very mutual. When you said, "Can I come on today?" I was like, let me drop everything and get on with you. So I'm so happy.
I love you. Yeah. And wait, also, I just learned this. Sorry, Terri, your freaking brother-in-law is Rick Springfield? What?
Yes.
What? Like, what? Hold on. So he married...
So my mom married his wife's father. So we are brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws because Barbie, his wife, is my stepsister. Yeah. It's a little convoluted, but not really. I mean, we all grew up together. Their children are cousins to my children, and I'm their aunt. And it's a very close-knit family, even though, it's by marriage. So he's my brother-in-law by marriage. Yeah.
So how long has he been your brother-in-law for? Like how?
Oh my God. 1989. I think it is.
Oh, so this is like, he's like your brother. He's basically your brother at this point. Like,
yes. The kids call him Uncle Rick. I mean, we go out there every year. Sometimes they come here. I mean, but we, just like any other family, I mean, we're very, 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 very close. Yeah.
This is so fun. So, and that was basically when he was like peak Rick Springfield. He was like,
by then he was off of was it General Hospital? Whatever. He was Dr. Noah Drake or whatever. And he was singing at that point. And I would say he was probably at his peak at that point. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I still think he is amazing. He's in amazing shape. The only thing is, his hearing isn't as good as it used to be because he's so loud with the music. But, he's still, is rocking it. These older rockers are rocking it. So he's doing great. He's still on tour.
She says, isn't he still peak? His legend continues. Sorry. Yes, you're right. He is. He is
peak. As far as I'm concerned. Listen, I couldn't do that. Believe me. I see him all the time, when he's on concert, and the energy is ridiculous. And his shape, he's in amazing shape. So
that is so cool.
He eats right, everything in moderation. Yeah.
Well, learn something new. I was like, wait, what? What? Yeah, but anyway,
nobody really ever believes you, but it's true.
Well, I mean, why would you lie? Like, there's no point. But yeah, I mean,
when it comes up, I explain it, but it's most people don't understand it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Everybody's very cynical. So, so woke up this morning and I mean, it's kind of crazy. Saw let me add this up here. Saw a new memo for for Diddy to be acquitted on the Mann Act charges, and 2, a possible new trial on the Mann Act charges alone, which, I mean, come on, that's never happening. Let's be real here. Do you agree?
I agree. I don't think there will be a new trial, but I do think the judge is going to look at the papers that have been filed seriously because the defense has a point. I'm not saying it's a winning point, but they have a point when they say that Combs is the first person who has been, jailed and convicted of the Mann Act under these circumstances, because normally the circumstances do involve people who are making money, who are profiting. And he did not profit from this. They're trying to make the argument that this was consensual, that in 1910, when this act was passed, it was called the White Slave Traffic Act. Back then, they were trying to stop people from profiting off of sex, and trade. And this is not that case. This is a very different case. And so I think they have an argument, at least, they're using that argument for 2 things. 1, to say he should be out on bond at this point, and 2, to say he should not have been convicted of the Mann Act. So it is possible for the judge to acquit him, even though there is a conviction. But I don't think he's going to ask for a new trial. I also don't think he's going to acquit him.
I didn't know that, Terri. So a judge, even though you've been convicted on something, a judge has the power to overrule that and just acquit him?
Yes. The judge can post conviction say, all right, I agree with you, defense. There wasn't enough evidence. This is not the type of case where you could get a conviction here on the evidence that was presented, and I'm turning over the conviction. It's rare that it happens, and I don't think it would happen here, because when we listened, and you were in the room, I know I was in the room listening to the arguments after the conviction, and on July 2nd, when they were trying to get him out on bail, at that point, they were making adamant arguments, but the judge did not want to hear it. He focused on the fact that he was violent. The defendant was violent. And for those reasons, the judge did not want to let him out. So I don't think he's going to overturn the conviction. And I don't think that, he could set it aside. An appellate court would overturn it technically. But what the trial judge could do is set it aside because it doesn't support the weight of the evidence. I don't think that's going to happen, but that possibility does exist.
Yeah, imagine if Subramanian did that and he was the judge that was known for, again, I just don't think career-wise that would be a move he wants to make. However, I agree with you that I think he is seriously going to read number one. And again, I'm not a lawyer, but when I read the bail motion on Tuesday, I think it was, I thought that it was really well written. And they, you can twist it in any way you want. I've heard pundits say, oh, he's blaming the women, he's doing that. I don't think that that's what they were going for. I think what he was going for is he was saying what you said. I wasn't profiting. I didn't even really use these prostitutes. And I just want to pin what Samantha said. She said, but isn't hiring prostitutes a crime? Well, can you just, I guess, tell us, like, this is different. It's the Mann Act violation is different than just hiring a prostitute. Because you wouldn't be in jail, right? Or go to prison for hiring a prostitute, but it's illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal to actually hire a prostitute. But what they are arguing here is the Mann Act has only been used, it has only been applied when the person is profiting from this. So when there is like a John, so they don't use the Mann Act to enforce, hiring a prostitute, generally speaking. They have in the past used the Mann Act for those who have profited. So for those who are using women as slaves, this goes way back. There are not that many prosecutions under the Mann Act. So they are trying to say, look, the Mann Act is there. I suppose you could use it. It's a vehicle that you can use, but it's not something that has been used for this type of situation. So that's the difference. Technically, and I'm reading it now, the Mann Act is also known as the White Slave Traffic Act in the United States. It's a federal law that prohibits the interstate or foreign transportation of individuals for prostitution or other immoral purposes. So it was enacted in 1910 to, combat human trafficking and prostitution. So technically, he did violate the Mann Act. Technically, he did. And that's why all along I was saying that, I think it's a gimme. I think that he could be convicted under the Mann Act because, it was interstate, it was escorts, and it was prostitution. He was paying for these sexual acts, or at least there was money that exchanged. But what the defense is arguing is, look, Judge, all that might be true, but this is not how it's been used in the past. In the past, when federal prosecutors use the Mann Act, and this is a federal law, they've only used it when someone has been like a John. They haven't used it under these circumstances. So this isn't fair. This isn't what it was intended for. You're using it against him. And he really was just, and this is their argument, that this is just a different moral and value than what existed back in 1910. And, they also argued in the papers that Cassie and Sean went to, clubs to have sex with other people. And that's not illegal. That's not, this is how they chose to live their lives. And the argument is, this isn't why the Mann Act was developed, and you're using it in the wrong way.
And sorry, I just pinned this comment. Why is the agency that provides them, let's say Cowboys for Angels, not on trial if it's illegal? They market themselves as time and companionship, right? That's how they get around all this. Yeah.
Just hit it on the head. They market themselves as, look, you're paying for the time. And we're not behind those closed doors. We're not seeing what's going on. If, you use your time however you want. And if you want them to dance or sing or you know, whatever you want them to do, have massages, that's up to you. We're not, you know, these are not prostitutes to us. These are people who you are paying to use their time, and we are not selling sex, basically. So that's how they are getting away with what they're doing, because they're saying you're paying for the time, you're not paying for the sex. Now, obviously, with all the scrutiny that's going on, I'm sure they're under the spotlight now. Whether or not anyone pursues a prosecution of them is something to be seen in the future. But that's how they've been arguing.
Yeah. No, and that's a great point. But you know, I'm curious, will it matter if the law is the law? Like you said, the law states XYZ, but then in turn you said, but it's never been enforced in that way. You have all this case law that shows it hasn't been enforced in that way for, you know, let's say 200 years. I'm throwing it out there. Does it matter? Is the judge going to say, well, the law is the law? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I don't care that 200 other cases or whatever it is have not been prosecuted this way, or you know, he's kind of like, this is the law. Like, what does that look bad? I just can't, I don't know.
I mean, look, when judges make decisions, first of all, we haven't seen what the prosecution's motion is going to say. We haven't seen their papers. Their papers are due, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, no, today. It's due today.
Oh, the 31st. Yeah, today's the 31st. It's due today, correct. So the prosecution is going to make a lot of arguments based on what you said. You know, I don't care how it's been used in the past. We can use it this way. There's nothing to say we can't use it this way. But I think when a judge makes a decision, they look at the law, they look at the facts of the case, obviously, and they do look at how it has been applied in the past. They want to be consistent. They want to, you know, make sure that they're going under precedent. They don't want to make new law, you know, based on what they're presented. So I think, you know, at the end of the day, the judge is going to look at all of this. I don't think he's going to change the conviction at all.
No. I don't think so either.
No, I don't think he's going to overturn the conviction, but I do think that or set it aside. I do think that he could change his mind about the bail. I think that's a possibility.
Yep.
I think it's a possibility, but I think it's a possibility. I mean, when you look at it and the new bail, you know, proposal here, I mean, $50 million. I don't think the judge is going to care about that. I mean, 1 million, 50 million, apparently Sean Combs still has a lot of money. I mean, his enterprises are still making money. So he could afford that. I don't think that'll make a difference to the judge. But I do think that the fact that he's going to be confined to his home and that he can only travel for meetings with the Southern District of New York or the Southern District of Florida. I mean, if that's all that he's doing, you know, he can't travel. They're going to take his passport. I think that says a lot. I mean, the judge could, and maybe this is something that defense should also say, we won't have anybody come in the house but family. I mean, if he's worried about violence against others, he's confined to his home and no one can come in and out of that home except family members. I would have probably added that, because if the judge is really concerned about violence, there's never been any evidence that he's violent as it relates to his family. So just say nobody can come in the house, you know, house confinement, nobody can come in the house. And then that alleviates that issue. That was the main issue when we listened to that bail argument. That was the main issue. The judge said repeatedly, look, defense, it helped your case, but you admitted to this violence. And so because you admitted to it, you're saying he's violent. And the two things that a judge looks at when they consider the bail, or at least the primary two things, are you going to be a danger to the community and are you going to flee? And so I do think that these amended proposed, you know, conditions should probably include something like, you know, no one else can come in the house, because the judge was very concerned about that violent act.
Yeah, I mean, and how far do you think the letter from Cassie goes? Like, even though he was, let's say he was, well, not let's say, he was acquitted on the charges related to Cassie when it comes to the sex trafficking and the racketeering, how far does her letter go? I think it went kind of far, you know, initially, and that is probably one of the reasons that he did not let him out. But how far does it go at this point? Is her team going to write another letter? I mean, we haven't seen anything in the docket, but like, you know, does that matter? I guess. I mean, and I mean legally, does it matter legally?
Yes. I mean, the judge does take everything into consideration. And so I think initially when that letter was written for the purposes of whether or not he should be granted bail initially, I do think the judge considered that. I think he thought, look, these are the victims. It was Cassie and Jane, and these two victims came, they testified at court. It was very difficult for both of them. You know, Cassie was pregnant at the time, and I'm going to take seriously what she has to say here and what her perspective is and her concerns that he could continue to be violent. So he does take it into consideration. Whether or not that letter is renewed or he goes back to look at it remains to be seen, but it's definitely a factor in his consideration.
That's a really good point. And again, I think now you are correct. I agree with you. I think that the judge is going to consider bail ahead of sentencing. I don't think he's going to acquit him on anything. However, what I do think this is doing, these motions and everything that his team is doing, is I think it's going to help sentencing. So I think at this point, he's going to be a convicted felon regardless. That's what's going on here. Exactly. But I think, Terri, there's going to be a very good chance here that he gets time served at this point.
Well, look, all of this is a guess. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I should preface everything I say with that.
Oh no, we know. Don't worry. This is we all get that. Yeah, we are speculating based on experience.
Yeah, but in terms of him setting the conviction aside, that's not going to happen. I think he respects the jury's decision. I think the judge understands that the two higher charges for RICO, sex trafficking, those were acquittals. And, the fact that he was convicted on the lower counts of the Mann Act, I think the judge is going to let that stand. So I would say, guessing, I'd be 99% sure the conviction is going to stand. He's not going to set that aside.
Agree. Totally agree.
I mean, but as to whether or not he gets bail prior to sentencing, I'm 50-50 on that because the judge was so adamant at court. I was surprised, actually. I thought that he might let him out that day.
Because he was laughing and joking with him. Didn't you feel that? That is what got me. I was like, he's going to let him out for the 4th of July.
Lauren, I was shocked when he came back, after the break, and he was reading, "No, you're violent," and
I know.
I'm not arguing either way. It's up to the judge, obviously.
Totally.
But based on what we saw in court, I really thought he was going to let him out before sentencing.
So did I.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So we were surprised about that. So based on that, if I had to look at, set aside the conviction, no, that's not going to happen. If you're going to get out before the October 3rd sentencing, I'm really about 50-50, just based on what we heard in court that day. So I think we might let him sit. As for the sentencing, you're asking about time served. Okay, so he could, as a maximum, get 10 years, that's 20 years. But the prosecution has only asked for 5.5, and the defense has suggested 2.5. And time served plus 85% if you're on good behavior, that would bring it down to about 3 years. And he's already served, or even less than that, if you do the calculation. He's already served a year. So, he could get time served at this point. But I don't think the judge is going to go above what the prosecution has asked for. And here's why. You have to apply the sentencing guidelines. There are these federal sentencing guidelines, and there's a chart. And I've looked at the chart, and the chart looks at the severity of the crime. And it's literally, numbers across the top, numbers across the bottom. And you go to the chart. He has not had any prior convictions. The severity of the crime. I mean, all of those things are looked at. And with that, that's why the prosecution asked for what the chart is saying. Under these circumstances, there are a multitude of factors. It's a little complex, but it's based on the investigation. It's based on his background and what he's done to the community. Has he, contributed to charities? All of that is taken into consideration. So I don't think the judge is going to go over the 5.5, but anything is possible. So will he go towards the lesser amount that the defense is asking for? Maybe. Will he split it? Could be. So I would say, as far as the sentencing is concerned on October 3rd, and I plan to be there. I don't know if you're going to be there.
Me too. No, I plan to be there, but I guess, So, I mean, next week, I'm wondering if there's going to be oral arguments here because right. The government's due
Yes.
With their response today for the bail. Right. And then when it comes to this, I feel like obviously the judge they're going to probably respond somehow, the government, but then the judge has to make his decision. We could be there next Friday. I feel like, right? Like there might be a chance that we are in court next Friday as they argue this.
Correct. I mean, we'll see if they set an argument date and we'll follow the docket. But yeah, we could be in court listening to arguments if they do that. And I'll be there for that as well. So I'll see you in court. But I know. At the end of the day, and again, it's based on what I felt when he was arguing. I kind of think he's not going to go for 20 years. That's not going to happen. Because that could be appealed. And the judge is not going to be appealed. This is a smart judge.
Agreed.
He doesn't want to be appealed. And so I don't think he'll go above what's been recommended on the prosecution side. I kind of think he might, and again, total guessing, but I kind of think he'll lean towards the higher side. I think he'll go closer to what the prosecution's asking for, just based on how the judge responded to the arguments for bail. And, if let's say he goes for 5 years, he's already served 1. So that's down to 4, 85% of 4 years, you have to serve that. What's 85% of 4 years? Like 3 and a quarter. I don't know. Let's say it's 3 and a quarter. Right. So he would only have 3 and a quarter left. So, not that that's nothing. But
right. And then it goes back to the whole, well, who serves 3.5 years convicted of, violating the Mann Act when minors were not involved, when he was not making money. And again, this is not me like helping the guy out. I'm not trying to do that. I think my audience knows that. Yes. I'm just trying to understand this from a legal perspective here and why the defense keeps submitting these motions. And people should know that. Like, they're not out of line by submitting these motions at all. They are truly in line, actually. And if they didn't, it'd be a problem.
Lauren, I couldn't have said it better. They are in line. They are being advocates for their client. That's exactly what a defense attorney should do.
Right.
And we are not saying we agree, or at least I'm not, and I don't think you are, one way or the other. Yeah. But that is why you hire a defense attorney, to make every single argument you possibly can on behalf of your client. And that's what they're doing. I have to say, having watched the entire trial every single day, they have been zealous advocates for their client. They've done an excellent job. I have very little criticism, actually, on both sides. I think the prosecution also did an excellent job. I mean, it was a difficult case, and
they did a job of, I felt like, with what they had. Exactly. I don't think they had anything. That's why I'm like, or I shouldn't say it. I feel like there's a lot more out there about Diddy, about things he allegedly did in the early, you know what I mean? And they couldn't use that, or maybe, whatever. But Comey did the best that she possibly could, with what she had. Agreed.
And just a comment about Comey, one of the best prosecutors I've ever seen. I think the mistake here that the prosecution made was overreaching. They should not have charged that RICO conspiracy. They should not have charged the sex trafficking. If they had just done the Mann Act, if they hadn't done RICO, they might have actually gotten the sex trafficking.
I know.
That really pushed the jury over. You have to have a conspiracy where there's an agreement between 2 or more parties to commit a criminal act. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
There were no agreements between anybody. What he did was what he did. Okay, so the personal assistants bought baby oil. Okay, so but did he say to them, "Listen, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to force." Cassie, make sure you drag her up there. I mean, no, you have to show an agreement. You have to show something. And there was nothing. I think what he did on his own. It was personal. You heard the testimony from the PAs. They were all saying, that was his personal time. That had nothing to do with his enterprises.
Exactly. So. And I'm just pinning the statute of limitation statement on the Mann Act for Cassie. And I guess, because it's been a while, they overrode that somehow and I remember, because I had asked about this as well, but there's no statute, I guess, when it came down to this for a reason that I can't recall. But
the statute had not expired for the Mann Act. They brought the claims both for RICO and the Mann Act, within any sort of statute of limitations. There was no problem for that for the federal case. Okay. The statute of limitations applied to the violence. So, and that would have been brought in the state court. I have to look up what the statute is for the Mann Act, but that was never a problem.
Okay, I thought it was 5 years or something like that, but then maybe I was incorrect about that. But I had just read after that, yeah, it wasn't an issue, the statute for the Mann Act. But yeah, who knows? I don't recall exactly what I read, but now I'm anxious. Terri, did you freeze? She might have frozen. Now I'm anxious, guys, by the way, to see if maybe we'll be back in court next week with Diddy arguments. I mean, let's add this to the stage one more time. This is, by the way, because Terri totally froze. Maybe if I bump her and then add her, let's see if this works. Bumping her and adding her, or I'll just remove her for now. Let's see. Hopefully she'll pop back in. But yeah, I'm like, are we going to be there in court next week for arguments? That's so crazy. Let me see what the docket right now to see if the judge let's see. I just want to see if the judge gave the government a note to respond to this as well, or a date. Let's see. This docket is getting so long. Oh my gosh, scrolling all the way down. Isn't Terri the best, by the way? She's best. Oh, here she is. Okay.
First of all,
it's fine. You froze. It's all good.
First of all, Spectrum. Why am I paying money? Why?
I am the same. I also have that. I need to switch to Verizon. Oh my gosh.
I can't where I live, but I don't know. Is the heat affecting Wi-Fi?
I think it does. The heat definitely does.
Sorry to your viewers. I mean,
no, it's fine. Don't worry, Terri. Sorry. Finish your thought.
If we're getting cut off again, thank you for having me, and I appreciate your viewers. All I was going to say is that I was going to look up what is the statute of limitations for the Mann Act, because offhand I don't recall that. But what I was going to say is there was no issue for your viewer. There was no issue with the statute for the Mann Act, no issue for the statute for RICO. The only issue for the statute of limitations had to do with the assault, and that's under state court. So under state court, no one complained of assault, and you have to have a complaining victim in order to bring that. Neither Cassie nor Jane brought an assault. I think the statute of limitations for assault under state court is 6 years. So that happened back in 2016. So that expired. But to my knowledge, nothing expired for either the Mann or the RICO, or they wouldn't have been able to bring it. So, but also, I just don't remember what the statute of limitations is, or if there is even a statute of limitations. So, for instance, under state court, there is no statute of limitations for murder. There are certain crimes where there are no statutes of limitations. So just to clarify for your viewers that.
Thank you so much. And honestly, I'm like, I was just saying when you got kicked up, I'm like, I wonder if we'll be back next week now. Now I'm like really wondering, will we be back in court next week for these arguments? I'm ready. I'm so ready. So anyway, Terri, plug whatever you want to plug. We have your Twitter. We'll follow you there. Is there anywhere else we should follow you?
You can follow me everywhere at Terri D. Austin. There's a D in the middle. It's TERRID Austin. So I am on X, formerly known as Twitter. I keep calling it Twitter as well. I have a YouTube channel, which I'm trying to now, put more videos up on YouTube. I am on TikTok, actually. It's a relatively new channel, but it's all, each one is at Terri D. Austin. So you can find me on all my social media, Instagram. I do a lot of posting on Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
I don't even know if I follow you on Instagram. So I will check that out. But I put that, guys, look, Terri D. Austin, you're good. You have the same handle everywhere. I should do that. It makes it so much easier.
I try.
I do. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And maybe I'll see you next week.
Lauren, thank you so much. And yes, you will see me. If there's something happening, I'll be there. I'll see you for coffee at the 8th floor.
The 8th floor, best food ever. Oh my gosh. All
right.
We're sick. All right. Thanks, Terri. Have a good day.
How do I check out? You're going to check me out, or how do I do it?
I'll kick you out. Then you can just, Thanks. Bye. She is the sweetest, you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to put this back up really quick as we close out. this was it's a very long motion. I just want to get how many, I want to tell you how many pages this is. And guys, like I said, she is so awesome because, make myself bigger, she also just tells it like it is with the facts. And it's like, hey, we're not trying to say that so-and-so didn't do anything, that, this person's a good guy, whatever. We're strictly going off the law, off of the Constitution. And that's that. So that's why I always appreciated her. And again, just having her there and as like this safe space to be like, that didn't really make sense to me. Did you catch that too? But yeah. So wait, so this motion, oh my gosh. It's 62 pages with like the signatures and stuff, but yeah, it's about 60 pages. So wild. And I am dying to know when the government is due with their response, because I am ready to see what is going to happen. I guess I'm just genuinely curious here because this case is so unprecedented in so many ways. And yes, we actually talked about this, Camo, about the Arkansas couple, how that murderer was caught. So yeah, we talked about that like briefly, maybe 20, 30 minutes ago. But yeah, no, they're due. Yeah, the responses are due today for the bail. I guess I just meant this motion right here. When is the government going to respond to this? If they respond, or is the judge just going to say, hey, let's talk about it all next week during a hearing? I feel like in the summer though, they might just do a Zoom hearing because everybody's in different locations, et cetera, who knows? But let me see. Samantha, you sent me an article. Oh, let me see. I didn't get it. Maybe it went to my junk. Oh, and also this was random. Dizzy and I were talking about the crypto guys, how I made that video last week, or was it last week? God, it probably was the week before. Again, I'm brain dead. About how they were granted bail. And yesterday, Dizzy was like, these guys are still in custody. What's going on? And I was like, that's weird. So I emailed the defense attorney and I was like, are there any snags? Because I don't know how long that it takes, to be honest, to get $1 million bond together. I have no idea. So I just emailed him and I'm like, are there any snags? What's going on? And we saw that, they're both in custody. And he actually just wrote me back and he said, hi, Lauren, no snags. John Waltz should be released sometime today. Hide your kids, hide your wife. No, I'm just kidding. But really, kind of kidding. Yeah, 6 days ago. So I guess, yeah, it takes 6 days to get it together. Is that a long time? Like, I wish I knew. I have no idea. But anyway, we got totally off track today. We didn't really get to Ghislaine again. I mean, nothing is really pending, I guess, when it comes to Ghislaine. I went through some court transcripts yesterday. I went kind of deep on some old civil suits with Ghislaine and with JP Morgan and the US Virgin Islands. And I continue to just be in awe at what is going on with the current administration and the gaslighting that is happening. I mean, the more I dig into this, and I've dug for a while, right? Like I would say I've been following this case. I've been screaming about it for years since Jeffrey Epstein's murder. And I just continue to be shocked at the way the administration is talking out of both sides of their mouth. And if you want to see my X post yesterday, which I don't understand X sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I feel like this post should get a lot more traction than it did. But let me just show you really quick before I end the stream. Let me remove this because this takes up so much memory, by the way, this document. Hold on. Okay. So I don't care to reach up to all those users. All right. Quit it. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Okay. So again, I was going through 2 different civil suits. So I just noted that in 2020, okay, stop. In 2023, JP Morgan paid out $290 million to Jeffrey Epstein's victims. After a private 2022 investigation by the USVI, they concluded that JP Morgan knowingly, negligently, and unlawfully provided and pulled levers through which recruiters and victims were paid and were indispensable to the operation and concealment of the Epstein trafficking enterprise. In spite of this, Bondi, Trump, and the FBI insist there were no other quote-unquote clients besides Epstein. And then I noted, doesn't it seem absurd that such a vast, costly, and intricate trafficking network would exist solely for one person? And if you go deeper in these suits, you will see why they believe that JP Morgan just kind of turned a blind eye at what was going on. I mean, they made it very possible for Jeffrey Epstein to do this by not, I mean, again, and I can do a whole stream dedicated to that. It's wild. JP Morgan is guilty. And I'm sorry, this is my opinion. Obviously, a settlement doesn't necessarily mean you're guilty in the eye of the law. I feel like I should just say that right now. But $290 million. That's a very, very large settlement across these survivors, these victims. And it's crazy to think that, yeah, this enterprise was also one person could get his rocks off. Yeah. Do they think that we are stupid? Yes, they do. So then I just said some of my favorite sections from the 2022 Doe versus JP Morgan Chase civil suit. Quote, Jeffrey Epstein's business and political friends included some of the most powerful people in the world. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure none of these powerful people wanted Epstein dead or anything like that after he was arrested and charged. Nope, not at all. And then it says, quote, there were several key figures who created Epstein's international sex trafficking operation, most notably Ghislaine Maxwell, Les Wexner, and Jess Staley through JP Morgan. And Les Wexner, we know that Wexner gifted Epstein that townhouse that I have walked by so many times for $1. Gifted it for $1. We still, it remains this mystery. We don't know why he did this. We don't know how Epstein got his billions, but Les Wexner has a lot to do with it. And then Jess Staley, he's been deposed so many times at this point, was a very high-ranking individual at JP Morgan. And if you guys recall, and I have tweeted about this before and posted about this before, they found emails during a deposition between Jess Staley and Jeffrey Epstein where they appeared to have code names for what I believe are young women, minors. I think the message from Staley was, and I'm paraphrasing, say hi to Snow White for me. Like this was like he said, like I had such a good weekend, thanks for everything. Say hi to Snow White. And then Epstein replied something like, do you want like Beauty and the Beast next time or something stupid like that just really appeared to be like a guilty code for something. And obviously I'm speculating. Oh, sorry. I'm sticking to my seat. I'm speculating, but many others have speculated as well. And CBS is now doing this dive. I saw like they're really zooming in on these jail cell pictures, which, that's been a really big focus this week is Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell because it was so messy. And that's generally not the way it's supposed to be. So CBS, I should point this out. Let me see really quick. They have just new discrepancies. There's like a light or something that was a mysterious orange shape, I guess. Let me show you what this article said. Ugh, stupid ads. Why does it kill me? Oh my gosh, these ads literally kill me. Get out of my way. Okay. So here it is. The mysterious like orange shape. They think that it's a person in an orange uniform. That's what an expert said. So somebody, I think I just lost, did I lose? Said I lost audio, whatever. So somebody basically had a video forensic expert look at this and said, okay, This looks like a person, if I had to guess. And you know, nothing is conclusive. These are experts, and you could totally have a battle of the experts here, but that kind of makes sense. Hey, Lucas. All right, thank you. Glad we got this one. So yeah, I saw that and I was like, wow, I'm so stupid ad. Yeah, like, is it me or is it getting worse? My gosh, these ads. So yes, this is from the person that said it looked like a uniform person was a retired NYPD sergeant and video forensic expert. What else? What else? Here's the other. Yeah. I mean, the entrance to Epstein's cell is also outside of the camera's field view. And I think that we had said this before when the video first came out, like it just didn't, it's from one angle. And that's what bothers me the most about, obviously a lot more bothers me, but I just was like, we need multiple angles here to get an idea. So, oh yeah, the bottles of medication, it was crazy. So crazy. But, I feel like we were all over the place with this stream today, but I had a lot of fun discussing all of this. And I love that you guys will tell me about new stuff and I can just look it up and no one cares if I go with the script. So I have a lot of Melly homework to do, of course. Now I'm like, all right, let me dig into that for sure. And again, tomorrow I plan on listening in during the Fat Joe hearing. And I will give a report on that, everything that's going on. And also Angie Solomon, I will get the indictment together. I'll make sure that I post on X, because I know some of you are interested in that case. And Menendez, you know what? I know that they're due in court very soon. I know Eric has kidney stones, it's a whole thing, but they are due in court soon. So it seems to be the same recycled headlines with the Menendez brothers lately. You know, they're due in court. They could get paroled. They could get this. So I'm kind of just like, yes, please, let's just get them in court and settle this, because it's hard to follow these days. But anyway, yes, email me, Samantha. I'll check my junk to see if you sent me a note. But email me if you have any other case ideas. Derek, I know what you want. Dirk. And yeah, I got homework to do. But subscribe to this channel. And thank you so much. Oh, Epstein's needs to interview. I'll have to look that up. Okay. I will definitely look that up. And thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching, for being here. It's been really fun and I'm enjoying myself. And Dizzy, everybody shout out to Dizzy. She's awesome. So, oh yeah, my email address is here. I'll put it right here really quick. Let's see. Okay. That's me. Really quick, I'll leave you guys with that as I let you go. Everyone, have a great Thursday. Hawkeye, thanks so much. Good to see you. I'll talk to you all later. Bye, guys.